It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
The Patriot discount. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. You know I'm better than a bologna sandwich right now because I got Kevin Creasy, head football coach of the Oakland Patriots, with us. Coach Creasy, how are you this morning?
Good.
You know, it's a wonderful day, coming off of another big win. Let's talk 38-0. Siegel. They were 2-0 in the district coming in last year. You went to their place, road shutout. Got to be pleased with the defense. Only allowed, I think, 133 total yards.
Yeah. Defense, and they've been playing lights out all year long. Really good players on defense for us, and do a good job of taking away the deep balls and block destruction, making tackles. Flying to the ball, all the things you want. Coach Watson's our D coordinator. He's doing a great job, David Watson. And then, going and playing Siegel on the road. Knew it was going to be a tough matchup. I think it was 17-0 at halftime. So, it was pretty close. And, I think Siegel's got a really good team this year. 3-1, beat a good Cookeville team, turn right back around and, had some real close games with Smyrna, and I think they're potentially one of the playoff teams. So you got to make sure that you're ready to play every week, and just like our region, we got another tough one coming up next week.
You sure do, Coach, because every game is tough in this region.
That's right.
Just to elaborate a little bit more on the defense. Your offense has been really, really good and you've been very successful, lots of big plays and stuff. Do you think that at times people don't give your defense enough credit? Because defense has been a big key in all these victories that you've had over the years, too.
Oh, no doubt. And that's the thing you notice about good teams is a lot of times offense gets all the credit, but the defense puts them in position, to score. I just got through watching a film of Blackman, and their offense is really good. Quarterback's phenomenal, but their defense set them up in great positions with 3 turnovers and, just being really tough, against the run and the pass. And so, a lot of times, offenses get credit because you just look at the points. But, out of our 38 points, I'd say 28 of them were probably set up by our defense.
So let's talk a little bit about your offense. Balanced last night. Good running, good passing. Tell me a little bit about the offense.
Yeah, we played 2 quarterbacks, and both quarterbacks did really good. I think both of them had, a touchdown apiece, and both of them were able to run the ball. And then as far as spreading the wealth a little bit, we kind of get guys out in space with the ball, and I thought Will Millsap had a heck of a game. Craig Tudd, of course, is steady as always, and you just can name 4 or 5 guys. Deontay Short had some really good runs for us. But I think we threw it around, to different targets. I think we ran the ball with a bunch of different running backs. We got 6 senior running backs, so it's always good to get all of them involved. I think every one of them had a carry, and every one of them had some positive yards. But ultimately, you got to make sure that those guys up front are blocking. I thought our O-line did a heck of a job last night.
Running the football always been a key. It's a key at every level. If you run the football, you win. You had 8 different kids carry the football. Then you just touched on that. Depth, that's got to be good at running back.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, you get fresh legs in there. You get guys that, I think a big deal is what do you do when you don't have the ball in your hands. So, that's why some guys like Will Millsap's on the field, because when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's doing a heck of a job of blocking. A lot of unselfish guys out there. Justice Haggard, he's a phenomenal runner, but at the same time, he's doing a great job of blocking. So, those guys, what makes them the best at what we're trying to do is they're great route runners. They can catch the ball. They got, the best hands on the team a lot of times are running backs. And then, of course, they're really good physical blockers. And then they're also really good running backs. So it's kind of the triple threat with those guys, and they compete with each other. There's a open competition at running back every single day in practice, and then of course our quarterbacks are going through the same thing. We've got 3 offensive tackles that are fighting for 2 positions. We got 3 offensive guards fighting for 2 positions, and so it's just competition. It kind of makes the world go round, and that's what we kind of strive for. We go good on good, our offense against our defense, and because of that, we get better every week.
3 different kids average over 10 yards a carry, which, just to touch on what you just said about when I used to cover a lot of Tennessee football. Me and Coach Fulmer was buddies, and one of the things he said that made them good, and they were really good during his heyday, was the internal competition. He said our internal team competition, that's what makes us good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you think back to those teams he had in the 90s. They had some really good running backs with Cobb and Webb and Henry and all those guys. They just kept on producing NFL running backs. And, competition, it's big. And like I said, a lot of our guys are going both ways. So they're playing on defense. And so when they need a little, rest or something, we've got guys that we can plug in and play running back and do really good for us.
So, Coach, we got to mention horse racing. It's the Pennsylvania Derby today. Baeza, he's the morning line favorite, trained by a boy named John Sheriffs, kind of a Zen master guy. And I asked, because Baeza's been like a mystery horse. He runs good sometimes he don't. I compared it to Moonshine. I said, well, how good is the proof? You shake the Moonshine up, you see the bubbles, smaller, bigger the proof. He said, well, the difference between a racehorse and Moonshine is Moonshine's always clear, racehorses are not. You're 5-0. How clear is your team right now?
Yeah, I think next week tells the story. I think you're halfway through the regular season. You know a little bit about yourself, but ultimately, when you get in a pressure cooker like you're about to get into over at Blackman, a region game, it's more important than these non-region games. We play a bunch of tough guys in our non-region schedule to hopefully get us ready for this, but there's so much on the line with potential region championship and all that stuff. So the way the playoffs are kind of a little different this year, it makes every game important, especially the region games. So I think, after Friday night, Coach Creasy and myself will find out a lot about our team.
Oakland being Oakland, the bullseye's been on your back for a long time. You guys handle that really well. That's what this is about, is being able to handle the bullseye being on your back.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get Blackman's best shot, and hopefully we can, try to compete with those guys as well as we can. I think it's going to be a real cool environment. I think anybody that's an Oakland fan or a Blackman fan should be there. I think you should buy tickets early, not wait in line. I know that we've got these new weapons detection devices and all that stuff, so people need to get there early to get through. Buy the tickets online if you can, and ultimately pack the stadium. I think it's exactly what high school football is supposed to be about. Blackman's undefeated, we're undefeated. There should be a crowd on both sides, and I know you are doing the broadcast, but people need to bring their Walkman or whatever they do nowadays, listen to it on their phone online, but they can still listen to you guys, but they need to be at the game.
Walkman, you're telling your age there, Coach. The Walkman. But so this has a chance to really be an old school football game, because that's one of the things that I've always loved about high school football, especially when I started covering back in the early 90s, is you had those big games. And that's what people did. They showed up, and that's what people need to do here, is they need to show up.
Yeah, a lot of these games are streamed now, and people are just going to stay on the couch and all that stuff, watch it, online or whatever. But ultimately, this is exactly what Murfreesboro was made out of for the last 40 years. They need to see these type of games, and both teams undefeated. I have no idea why anybody would not put it on their calendar and make sure they show up. Both teams are really good. It's going to be a great environment, and why would you not come to one of the best games in the Mid-State next week?
No, I agree with you 100%, Coach. How about your senior leadership going into a game like this? How important is that?
Oh, yeah. It's one of those deals where we can only get as far as our seniors lead us, and I know there's good seniors over at Blackman. We got good seniors here at Oakland, and so ultimately it's probably going to come down to a play or two, and usually those play or twos are made by those guys that have been in these kind of battles before, and usually they're made by seniors.
Coach, I agree with you 100%, and I think you're absolutely right. If you're out and about and you want to see some good football, you head over there to Blackman to see Oakland at Blackman. Showdown for first place in Game 6. So, Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
All right, appreciate it.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at CraigsTaxService.com.
For 27 years, Kenneth Barrett has proudly served the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and now asks for your vote for sheriff. He started at age 20 as a detention officer, working his way through patrol, narcotics, and interstate crime operations. He's led specialized teams while keeping transparency and fairness at the forefront. Kenneth Barrett as